everybody there. I'm going to see who's going to jump on. I want to talk to you today about what I'm offering now, here at the end of 2018 and going forth into 2019, and what is to become my signature offering for what I do in my business and what I am pretty much devoted to in my life at this point. I've been working on every day for the last 4+ months on bringing in the most tangible expression of Mother Creatrix energy and what that means, how we can access it, bringing in, as a result, 8 different key codes of ascension, higher dimensional codes, but it is taking us beyond planetary ascension at this point, and it is really a journey for those who feel called to cosmic ascension. And what's happening with Mother Creatrix DNA Code Mentorship is that it is, first of all, bringing through Sam Bearden's method of sacred DNA activation and restructuring. So because I'm calling forth healers who are ready to embark on their journey of putting new energetic structures in place for cosmic ascension, going beyond just planetary ascension, going beyond what can be felt or understood or known, if you want to call it that, in 5D, and literally going on into much, much higher dimensional levels and being able to prepare the body, mind, and spirit for accommodating. I'm being shown anywhere up to 9th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th for sure. Probably most who will be joining. I'm seeing this in the ethers up to 12th, but it can be anywhere up to 151st dimensional access. So this is pretty big stuff. So when you are doing 24-strand DNA activation, and I put something in the group here today for those of you who are interested in doing Samantha Bearden's method with me, I have spots opening because I'm booked up until mid-December. So I have 4 spots available for either 12-strand or 24-strand sacred DNA restructuring, sacred DNA activation and restructuring. And I put a post in here today that gives a definition of why everyone needs their DNA activated to 12 strands. And I wrote, basically in Samantha's words, a full description of that. And then there is a video attached to that post where Samantha Bearden is talking about her method and what happens, why we have these seals, these shadows, these breaks on the DNA, how we remove them, what happens to us when we remove them. So it's a very detailed explanation, and it's very well explained in that post. So if you want me to tag you on that, I will. So if you're looking for, hey Crystal, if you're a healer, I highly recommend DNA restructuring, because this is what it's all about. This is where it's at going forward for us as healers, because we have the ability in our DNA and our cellular programming to collapse old energetic structures that don't support our ascent into 5D and beyond. So that's vital to our continued success and evolution as healers and way showers, light bearers, coaches, mentors, whatever you call yourself. And when we are accessing these higher levels of our DNA, higher codes of our DNA, and receive this clearing of our DNA, what we are doing essentially is putting new energetic structures in place to support us as we continue our spiritual awakening process and as we continue to spiritually evolve. And so what does that look like? Well, I'm going to tell you that in a minute, but the earth is really, we've entered a new epoch. We are standing individually and collectively at this cosmic crossroads. And with the planetary ascension process, we're reaching a higher light quotient. So we're experiencing this right now because we're having a pretty big power surge of crystalline light codes entering into our planetary shield. And it is because of the work that Samantha Bearden is doing and removing seals on the planetary shield of this earth that we are receiving. In fact, she just did one in 2017 with her sacred DNA restructure method crew, removed some seals in the planetary shield that allowed us to experience higher dimensional codes coming in and to assimilate them comfortably in the body, in our cellular programming, and in the DNA. So as we're experiencing this higher light quotient, like we're experiencing right now, we get this infusion of higher dimensional codes into the field of this planet. And as this is happening, it creates interactions between matter and light. So the way we are experiencing these interactions between matter and light is understanding that the physical body is matter, and we are accessing higher quotients of light all the time. And so our body is composed of matter. We have the ability to transform into light. And before we had seals put on our DNA, we used to be able to come and go over 200,000 years ago from this earth plane very easily. And we could just dissolve in and out, and we did this through the codes that were available to us in the DNA. So this is becoming available to us again. And one of the ways we do that, and especially for healers, if you want to access the highest level of this, is to have your DNA activated and restructured up to 24 strands. And so we're doing that in the Mother Creatrix Code DNA mentorship. But we take it even further because we are accessing the mother DNA that is the serpentine energy that runs through the tapestry of all life. It is that current that runs through the energy of all life. So we're taking this 24-strand activation and restructuring even further by accessing all of these living light transmissions, I call them. They are 8 key codes that come directly from Mother Creatrix and come through me. This is what I've been working on for the last 4.5 months. And it came through rather quickly because I've been devoting myself. I've literally made this kind of modern day mystery school of cosmic consciousness of my own, with me and Mother Creatrix as the founding members. And I can't wait to bring more people on board into this mystery school. So what is happening, as you know, our bodies are composed of matter, so that we have the ability to transform into light under certain conditions, of course. That means that the higher we activate and restructure our DNA and make it capable on a cellular level to access these higher light codes, we're able to access the non-physical and the non-dual into the physical, and to do it much more comfortably and to assimilate it with a lot more grace and ease and joy, with a lot of gifts opening up for us as we do. And it's interesting, you know, how each of us deals with this process of planetary ascension right now. It's very unique to our specific timeline of spiritual awakening and evolution. Some of us feel like we are moving upward in consciousness. Some of us feel like we are just barely grasping at reality daily. We're suffering through a lot of confusion, with a lot of timelines collapsing, a lot of confusion, overwhelm, identity crisis, etc. So we seem to just be kind of grasping at this idea of reality or persona or who we were. There's a lot of dark nights of the soul for a lot of people. Some people feel like they're losing their minds, and an alarmingly large number of people are really going bananas. They're really going bonkers. So this oscillation of energies that continues, and it will continue. This is part of our timeline here. And we all knew this when we came to this incarnation at this time, that this would be going on, by the way. We decided to come here anyway. Some of us for bigger roles that we have yet to figure out what we're here to fulfill. Some of us to just be part of the experience and just to see what happens. And some of us are kind of holding light for others. We all have different roles, but we all knew we'd be coming to this planet at this time. So the oscillation of energies that we're experiencing due to either large or small galactic alignments, correlating and converging celestial events. It's either creating more luminous and awakened beings on this planet who can hold more light, or it seems to be accelerating human irrationality and hell-bent on some degree of self-destruction. And this is a troubling thing to witness, but it's really all part of this process. And that's not meaning to sound like it's just like, oh, well, whatever, you know, screw everybody who's not on board with this. It's really just part of the process. And we also knew that there was going to be this incredible contrast here at this time, and that was something that needed to happen, needs to take place in order for planetary ascension and certainly cosmic ascension to happen. And I don't mean to sound glib or cavalier or uncaring about the fact that so many people are lost in this dimension, or are continuing to feel more lost and confused in this dimension. It's something I'm actually really deeply concerned about. It's why I do the work that I do. It's why I am very concerned about the collective path of humanity and try to put things in place to help people. I wouldn't be doing the work that I do if it were otherwise. It's all the more reason why I find ways to create, download, or access new energetic pathways, new energetic systems, structures to really support the people who are asking for the support, people who want the help, people who want to work with ever-increasing light codes, with higher dimensional codes, who want to be able to assimilate them, who want to understand what these light quotients are and how they can bring them in for their highest and best benefit. Because this is going to continue to enter our space-time reality here in 3D as we ascend. And so what I want to ask you, those of you who are healers and are on this journey of spiritual evolution, of bringing in more training, this is beyond training, by the way, but want to bring in more training or elevated levels of awareness and awakening in working with these energies. What do you have planned for yourself? What are you looking at? What kind of things are you doing? Because we are constantly, through the collapsing of timelines, outdating old energetic structures. They are just becoming outdated and outmoded by default as we collapse energy timelines and space dimensional reality timelines here in 3D, which is rendering certain energetic structures obsolete. They will still have some use to us, but those of us who are really asking for planetary and cosmic ascension and an understanding of ascension on much greater, higher dimensional codes of understanding, this is where it's at. This is where we need to be going. This is what we need to be looking at. And just sharpening your intuition or just working in the Akashic records, while those things are wonderful, those things are only a snapshot of the greater things available to us at this point. And what I am offering with this mentorship, and I don't think I've been very clear on what this truly offers you, so that's why I wanted to do this live. We are accessing new energetic systems and structures of support, and we are bringing in a new way of understanding this for ourselves, and bringing in a new way of helping others to integrate these new systems into their ascension process. And so what I recently found in my search and in doing this work over 4.5 months is that really my reason for being here is doing this work, that it really started to be uncovered for me that when I started working with Samantha Bearden as my mentor, doing sacred DNA restructuring and learning how to be a restructurista with her method, that I had a lot of revelations and awakenings and epiphanies about the fact that Samantha Bearden and I have worked together before with the DNA in a pre-Atlantean timeline. And this is something we've talked about, and we're actually in the process of working on this to a greater degree. So when I made this realization and I went to Samantha with this and we talked about it, and it's like, yes, you know, we are definitely meant to work with the DNA together again. And so her and I, Samantha Bearden and I, will be collaborating together in the future, in the very near future, probably like in a couple weeks, to help bring in the next level of these codes. So working with Mother Creatrix DNA code alignment in this 8-week mentorship that's starting either mid to late November. I'm trying to shoot for mid-November, but we'll see what happens. This is basically level 1, because there's a lot of higher dimensional codes and crystalline structures, which are new support structures to help us in this ascension process. They're coming in all the time. So what I'm bringing in with this 8-week mentorship is really just level 1. And so Samantha Bearden and I are beginning our collaboration in bringing in the next level, which will, as it looks right now, will look like level 2. So getting in on this mentorship now not only will open up so much for you as you begin 2019, and we'll start opening up things for you right away, and I'm going to tell you what those things are in a minute, but you are then in this perfect energetic space. You are energetically primed then to go into level 2 when we begin offering that next year, and it'll be most likely a collaborative effort between her and I. But what I found during doing this work is not only this revelation that I've worked with Samantha Bearden before, but this is what I'm here to do, and it is also, became very painfully obvious actually, because I realized this kind of reckoning of, I really didn't want to incarnate here at this time. But I knew how powerful it was and how ready humanity would be in this timeline, in this grand experiment on Earth at this time, to access the mother DNA. And this is what Samantha Bearden and I had worked on in a previous pre-Atlantean timeline together, and we had to shelve it because of experiments that were happening and that we foresaw a timeline of humanity and the Atlantean experiments that were happening, where we were moving out of integrity with our spiritual connection with all, and conducting experiments that were totally out of integrity with the DNA specifically, that were totally out of integrity with where we could be going as enlightened beings. And we saw the fall, basically. So we shelved this stuff. We shelved it. We put it away. We put it in this like energetic Fort Knox space to come back here and work on it at this time. So it was pretty eye-opening to come to these realizations and to realize that I decided to incarnate specifically at this time. I was really having fun playing where I was, and I hadn't incarnated in a couple different lifetimes because I was really enjoying where I was, and it was painful for me to come back here because I left a lot of friends behind in the spiritual realms. And so I decided to come here to do this work. So it is really to share this Mother Creatrix DNA code empowerment, this alignment, these key codes, to help those who are working past Planetary Ascension at this time and working and going into Cosmic Ascension. So this is the highest place from which we can assist others. So, you know, as healers and way showers, we are creating a higher vibration timeline for humanity when we are doing this work, and we're accessing these key codes. The key code series of living light transmissions, there are 8. This is an 8-week mentorship. It creates a kind of modern day mystery school of cosmic consciousness. Right now, myself and Mother Creatrix are the only members. Of course, with a lot of members in the galactic community that are in the ethers and the ethereal strands of existence. But as far as humans go, I'm the only human member at this point. But it links, working with these key codes, what it does is it links all benevolent frequencies existing in the mother DNA, or the One-All of Mother Creatrix, creative matrix, with the mother DNA, which is, hi Denise, which is the serpentine energy running through the great tapestry of all life. So the mother DNA exists in everything. And so these 8 key codes of living light transmissions help us work from the level of the womb of Mother Earth and the new Earth grid, womb of Mother Earth, I call it, outward. And then bringing it back down and grounding it again at the end of these transmissions. So the Mother Creatrix DNA code alignment, this 8-week mentorship, is really the most powerful sacred container I've ever created or ever will create. It's the work that I'm meant to do here at this time. It's why I'm here. So I guess you could say it is my signature offering going forward. As Samantha Bearden would say, it's my jam. This is essential for those who are already doing healing work, or for those beginning a career in the healing arts. This is the most support you will ever have with working through me, or with me on this journey, because there has to be an incredible amount of support with this work. It's very hands-on. That's why I'm only offering it to 5 women. So there's only 4 spots left with this at this time. There are 8 key codes of multi-ray living light transmissions. So these are multi-dimensional crystalline essence light code transmissions. So you will experience them on a multi-dimensional level. You will understand this on many, many levels of your being and aspects of your awareness. And this is the reason that has to be this way, is because that is the nature of these high light quotients coming in. So for assimilating and calibrating the maximum number of frequencies, benevolent frequencies available in the mother DNA, the mother creatrix, this is the only way you can really align and calibrate your specific timeline with the divine path that you're on. So it renders a lot of stuff that we're working on, and I'm not saying this stuff isn't useful, but it's only a small piece of the puzzle, like the Akashic records, or just working on your intuition, or opening your pineal gland, or decalcifying your pineal gland. This stuff is wonderful to do, but it's only a snapshot of the greater availability, the greater possibilities open for us at this time to make ourselves sacred containers of transformation, and to assist those for them to become sacred containers of transformation in their own right. So, as I mentioned, there are 8 multi-ray living light transmissions. The Great Mother, the womb of cosmic consciousness, the pure source essence of no thing, it holds all existing benevolent frequencies within her. So when you are able to call in any and all of these frequencies, which is what you're able to do with these alignments with these 8 key codes, they're basically attunements, these 8 key codes. When they align with your specific timeline and divine path, this is what you're able to do. You collapse old timelines and old thought forms that cannot hold the higher dimensional codes of consciousness. And because you are accessing pure crystalline light codes and the mother DNA, so this is the serpentine energy that runs through the current of all life. And if you're accessing all benevolent frequencies within that, by default, you are putting in new crystalline structures to hold these new energy light quotients coming into the planet and be able to wield them and work with them. Yeah, that's just one thing, okay? You access more of the quantum field of mind, the universal field, unity consciousness, as you are calibrated to direct levels of engagement with the One-All. So you're working directly with Mother Creatrix, and basically that which is in you, because the mother DNA runs through all life. So it runs through you, and you are accessing source within you and working with source within you to do all the work that you do as a healer going forward. And you access the pure essence of the void. So this is where we create essence into form, and we are the creators of everything here in 3D. We are the wielders of energy here. Energy works for us here, not the other way around. And this brings in the full realization of that, and your full capability to wield that and work with that, and really be in the process of working with divine alchemy and create your reality at will. It's really, really powerful. My manifesting ability since I've been working with this energy has just gone through the roof. It's almost like I think about something, I focus on it for a little bit at a time, I go into the feeling of how it shows up, and then it's there. It's pretty wild. You become aware of more of the sacred geometry and patterning of all life and universal codes of the unified field of consciousness, which allows you to realize the embodiment of multi-realities. So you are working with multi-dimensional aspects of who you are, and you access greater dimensional ranges of play, meaning you could create in 9D if you wanted to. You access optimal health and well-being. This is something that happened with me very profoundly when I had my DNA activated and restructured to 24 strands last year. I used to get sick all the time, sore throats all the time. I've been sick once in the last year. And I just feel healthier. I used to have aching in my bones. When you remove a lot of the seals and the blocks and the breaks in the DNA, this just happens. You get access to greater health and well-being because you're clearing up any dysfunction in your divine genome, and you are accessing greater levels of health and well-being. And so as you activate Creatrix energy too, already in your DNA, and you simultaneously merge with the mother DNA that is the serpentine current of energy through all life, it's entirely possible to heal dysfunction in your genetic blueprint, in your ancestral genetic blueprint. If you've had things run through your family and you have a legacy of certain illnesses, it's possible to clear this up and send it back to source. You fully activate the psychic centers of your mind as they sync up with the higher dimensional light realms. You step into your full sovereign power and initiate yourself into the Christed energies of universal intelligence. And of course, you receive the 24-strand sacred DNA activation and restructure method. So every single woman, the 5 women that are going to be in this group, you will receive that. And it allows you to really see a quantum leap in your psychic and your healing abilities as you move from the 3D to 5D plane, removing any obstacles placed in your genetic code, and you realize your full vision of purpose on Earth here at this time. Back to source with consciousness attached. Yes, it's super powerful, incredibly powerful. So this is, again, and I can't overstate this, the most powerful sacred container I've ever offered or ever will offer, and it's only going to increase in level. So this is basically, this series of 8 key codes is level 1. What I'm going to be working on and bringing through with Samantha Bearden as we do this work together with Mother DNA going forward will be a level 2, at least that's the way it looks at this time. It may take on a different identity or form, but that's the way it feels right now. So getting in on this now allows you to hit the ground running in 2019 with a whole new set of psychic gifts and abilities, a fuller vision of your purpose here on Earth at this time. I mean, just working with Mother Creatrix has allowed me to see that this is what I'm here to do, and it's allowed me to open up a lot of access to my past lives and seeing what I was doing before, actively seeing myself working on the DNA with Samantha Bearden. That was a powerful enough realization right then and there. So, you know, of course we have to work together again in this lifetime to bring this through because humanity is ready for it. And if this is really speaking to you, then you are ready for it too. And this is a powerful and sacred series, again, of 8 key code. They are channeled living light transmissions that begin with grounding you into the new earth grid womb of Gaia, into your sacral womb, to your physical sacral womb, because that is our physical representation of the womb of cosmic consciousness within the physical. And then into the neural nebula, I call it, that network of our brain, accessing levels of the higher mind, clearing old neural pathways and collapsing old neural pathways that can't hold the higher light quotients coming in. And we have, when you think about it this way, we have to collapse part of the neural network so that we can understand we are anchoring in a new identity. So we literally can't hold those old neural connections that allowed us to think that I am only this or I'm only that. So this is really powerful, and we remove obstacles placed in our genetic code. We have optimal integration and activation of our highest physical potential and a downloading of our soul's pristine divine genome. So I can't, I wanted to come on live and talk about this because I've put stuff in the group, but sometimes hearing me talk about it, or when you hear me talk about it, it sends a different energetic your way. And that was really my purpose here today, to talk about this live, because this is the most powerful container, sacred container of transformation that I have ever offered or will ever offer. And it's only going to become more powerful. And this is offered at a price now, which is for 8 weeks to work with me at this level is $9.99, which is actually a steal because of the work we're going to do in here. And there's only 4 spots left. I will post the link again, Catherine. I'll actually tag you right here in the full description. It's in the group. Oops. I know that not everyone has $999, especially at this time of year, because we're thinking about the holidays and all this and the other thing. But here's the thing about that. If you're really called to this, the holidays, you know, that's not, then you're not really called to this. If you're using the holidays as an excuse, we're going to meet once a week for 8 weeks. I want to start mid-November. There's 4 spots left. There's one gal on the fence, and I really am holding space for her to join. You know who you are. Catherine, I would love you to be in here because I know you've been asking to work with me at a greater level. This is it. This is the one. This is the shiznit right here. And the first 3 women to join at full price, you get a remote activation of sacral womb healing. So this is working with Mother Creatrix energy, downloading it into your existing structures and upgrading a few new ones and clearing any mother wounding and preparing the physical womb for receiving the seed of infinite creative potential that will be planted with these 8 key code living light Mother Creatrix transmissions coming up. The next time I offer this mentorship in 2019, it's going to be at least $1,500, probably $1,599. Depending on what else comes in between now and then, it could be $19.99. So this is the time to bring this in now, and you're perfectly ready for when we do offer level 2, Samantha Bearden and I, sometime in 2019. So I truly hope this speaks to you and ignites something within you that just feels like this ancient knowing of, I've done this before, I am this, I have been this before, I will always be this. And it's, if you really feel called to it and this doesn't scare you in any way, then you are the perfect candidate for this. And this is really about showing up and being here, and we will, depending on who shows up, we will align the calls so that everyone can be there live, I hope. Because the living light transmissions, these key codes as they come through live, will be much more potent, delivering them in the moment, in the present moment, than a replay. All my other courses I would say otherwise, but this is one of those things like, yeah, we all want to be here live. We want to make it happen. So we will. We'll just make it happen. Live is the way to go, and I know you prefer that too, Catherine. So I am holding space for you. I already have a vision in my mind of who's going to be in here, and I'm holding space for that and for you. So if you do feel divinely called to this, please reach out to me. You can, there's a link right here. I'm going to, it should be at the top of the group now because I just put Catherine Hauser's name in the comment on the main post. So if you're interested, you know, you can reach out to me, you can message me, but hopefully this will explain to you what's up. And do watch the video that I posted that gives a full explanation of Samantha Bearden's method, because this is part of this course. This is part of this mentorship, is the Sacred DNA 24-strand restructure and activation. So this is the other post that I put in there, and Catherine, I'll tag you in that. It's written in Samantha Bearden's words, and she does a half-hour video talking about her method and what it's all about. It's incredibly powerful. So there it is, ladies. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day, and I look forward to having you in this mentorship with me. I'm actually really surprised that I only have one woman signed up for this now, because it is so powerful and so sacred, and this is the work that we are all meant to do going forward, and I can't wait to help you with this. All right, have a beautiful day. Love and peace. You're welcome, Catherine.